what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful round brought to you by the Sausage Dodgers Racing Team. This is the Porsche Cup Season 2. This is round 2 at the Autodromo Internazionale de Enzo e Dino Ferrari, a circuit where history, speed, and precision collide. Nestled in the Italian countryside, this narrow and technical track is one of the ultimate tests for Porsche Cup machinery. With unforgiving curbs, rapid elevation changes, and iconic corners like Tamburello, Acqua Minerale, and Ravazza, drivers will need absolute commitment to stay fast and mistake-free. Tonight, the Sausage Dodgers take on this classic venue where strategy, patience, and precision will decide who conquers Imola. One wrong move here can end your race, but a perfect lap can be pure magic. Sit back and relax. Porsche action is ready at Imola. Couple keys to the race for you. Surviving the opening lap. Key number 1. We know that traffic discipline is one thing, but curb discipline is another. Imola chicanes at Tamburello, Villeneuve, and Acqua Minerale are gonna, at Variante Alta are gonna reward aggression but punish the excess use. Traction out of slow corners, coming out of Tosa, coming out of the hairpin, poor exits will kill your momentum onto the long straightaways. Because the Porsche Cups are rear-engined, throttle application must be progressive to avoid snap oversteer. Slow in, fast out is the golden rule. And of course, brake management, especially downhills into Ravazza. It's easy to overcommit there and lock up those tires. Let's take a look at the championship standing as well, because it's tight as ever, 99 points to Georgiev. Then it's Menderes in P2. Back in third will be Tessitore, Elsner in fourth, Arnaud in fifth, Cardulo, Casimiri, Gabbiati, Kenny, Grabner, Clark, Brandt, McCarthy, Mitchell, Richards, Falchi, Pizzetti, Norori round out the top 18. 19th goes to Tim Williams, Vincenzo Stagnito, Luati, Beatson, Ewers, Tonkes, Darsh, Simpkins, Nugamanov, Buccanelli. And we start getting down to drivers that haven't participated. Aleto, Marshall, Haynes, Desnov, Bruker, Tedeschi, Clark, and Marcilla and Matt Webb. Finn Caitlin with 0 points. Horn, Corbett, Mofat, Morabito, Hussein, and Krenchiko having no points to their names. Looking at the drivers here, the pole position time that was set will be a 1:41.29 set by Ben Georgiev. Nick Elsner out on track right now. Matt Webb here out on track, just set a P2 time on that second lap of running. Alejandro Tessitore in P4 behind Elsner. Simone Donchi in 5th place, finishing up their third one right now. And that will pretty much conclude the qualifying session. A few other drivers concluding their runs, trying to get those lap times in. But look at the gap. It's a 1 second margin from P1 back through P7. Then you have a healthy gap back from there, including the likes of Fabio Falchi here, who ran a P18 time, 2.1 seconds off the good. Claudio Buccanelli, the last driver to complete their qualifying run so far. And that'll be pit lane for them. And that will conclude our run in just about 1 minute's time, folks, with the official results posted here in a few moments. As soon as the official results get populated, we'll get them posted here in just a few moments' time. Let's get those results posted here. Ben Georgiev led the charge in P1, Matt Webb in second, Elsner in third, Simone Donchi in fourth, Alejandro Tessitore, Mert Menderes, Andrew Kenny, Bart Tonks, Leslie Simpkins, Pedro Arnaud, Jason Brandt, Andrea Pizzetti, Matthew Clark, Francisco Cardullo, James Horn, Mark Richards, Roman Zednov, Fabio Falchi round out the top 18 in the qualifying. Then we have Pierre Bruckner, Claudio Buccanelli, Nugumov, Aleto, Gabbiati, Stagnito, Avasi, Darsh, Corbett, Luati. And down further that, Cloaric, Beaton, McCarthy, Ewers, Marshall, Hines, Marcilla. And that'll round out the amazing 35 participants lining the Sausage Dodgers grid here tonight, folks. And we are going to have a great battle for P1, as the 18 and the 33 showed us last time out. They're bound to battle here again. Nick Elsner had a great qualifying this time out, up into P3 this time around, is looking to sit pretty, and the driver from Switzerland might want to advance their stance. But Imola is really a track that's all about mistakes. So, can the drivers in the front stay mistake-free throughout this run? Now, the rule is that, or the running is that we have two stints coming up. We have a main stint and then the feature race, let's call it, and then we have our upcoming short race. The race analysis shows this one being about 12 laps of race running. And we're ready to take the green flag here for the short sprint race. It's green, 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 and a jump start there for Darsh, it looks like, and he's going to get black flag immediately for that jump start. Ben Georgiev defends that inside line fairly well back from Nick Elster, who's gained a position. Now Simone Donchi falling back down into P8, loses 4 on the good, and there's a little bit of madness further back as we were going to go nearly 4 wide as we approach coming down into the heavy braking zone of Tamburello. It will be a little bit of argy-bargy, elbows out racing, that's for sure. Checking out the further back battles here, Cole Arik in 27th place, trying to drive forward, the driver from Croatia. Simon Darsh and Oscar Corbett exchanging blows. And they're not in Sausage Dodgers colors, so no love lost between friends here. Normally we'll see the sausages work together. We're seeing them spread out here, including Andrew Kenny, who's on a little bit of an island. And islands, there goes a big dive for Donchi. In the 601 here, Ravazzo 1, and Ravazzo 2 makes that one stick. The Italian man finds the daylight there and follows through. Fast laps trickling in. Here's a look from the 333 to the inside line at the first chicane. Makes it stick, but not without touching the 18. And now we're going to go 2 by 2 through the edge of the chicane. And I think there's going to be a little bit of talking going on in the background about whose corner that one belonged to. Here comes Andrew Kenny trying to capitalize on the situation in front of us. Has the 691 out for lunch right now here at Tosa and drags along the 601. That's Donchi on his recovery drive. Andrew Kenny moves up 2 positions on the good right now, but Donchi's trying to relinquish one of those from Kenny, and he can here at Piratella. Now the 691 is trying to get alongside before we get down to Aqua Minerale. Can he get a rundown in? No, he cannot. Kenny's too quick there. Carries a lot of speed and momentum through the fast, flowy corner. And that'll leave him uncompromised going into Variante Alta, the high chicane. I would be remiss to mention, this is Mert Menderes, by the way, 2nd place in the championship, trying to get by Andrew Kenny. Mert pulls out, goes to the inside line through turn number 1. Turn number 2 being Tamburello. 691 is steadfast and through on Andrew Kenny driving the 000. Let's check back in with the leaders. So I think the 333 here is trying to challenge forward Nick Elster into the lead of the race. When did that happen? Nick Elsner inherits the lead of the race, now leads Matt Webb and Ben Georgiev, who's down 2. Can't keep our eyes off of this battle, folks. Brandt and Richards exchange positions. Richards is up 6 right now. Here's the triple three defending back the 18 right now, but Donchi holds on to the fastest lap with a 141.5. Triple three over speed there and commitment through corner number 1. Webb defends hard but fair back from the 18. Checking back in, this is Claudio Buccanelli, Matthew Clark, James Horn. And there's an off up ahead. Who is that in the red? That'd be Jason Brandt in the number 11. It's a Norwegian driver, definitely having a slowdown penalty. Serving that. Elsner gets one though. Here at the high chicane. Yields the time and yields the lead back over to Matt Webb and Ben Georgiev. Think he could have been a little trickier about how he took his slowdown penalty and potentially held up the other drivers behind him going into Ravazza, but he wanted to do it cleanly. Here comes the 18 and the triple three now in the battle for the lead, going down in towards turn 1, toe to toe, blow for blow. The 18 bobs over the sausages, doesn't dodge them whatsoever. Goes through, finds the lead for HPR Esports. Now Webb and Elsner look like they're teammates on track, based on their liveries at least, so maybe they'll work together a little bit. Alejandro Tessitore up 1 position. Simone Donchi down 1 position, still in this battle as well. Great runs through the chicane. Now Ben Georgiev, though, is under attack from that triple three of Matt Webb. Tessitore under attack also from Donchi. That's a little bit of a mistake coming out of Ravazza. Will compromise Tessitore's exit. And now it'll really compromise his run on the way down to the first corner. Argy-bargy elbows out racing battle for the lead. Ben Georgiev and Matt Webb went side by side through the first chicane. They'll do it again through the second chicane. Mounting the curb sends the 18 sailing into the kitty litter. Now the triple three and the 88 are in P1, P2, but Donchi is here in the background trying to battle it out as well. Braking on the grass for the 601, a little bit dangerous to say the least, but he manages to keep it calm, cool, and collected somehow, some way. Battle for the lead here is kind of staying stagnant. Want to check back in with Leslie Simpkins here and their battle with Fabio Falci and Emanuelek Marcilla up ahead, who's going to go a little bit too deep and has some serious rear aero damage there. The 70 is going to be fully compromised to Leslie Simpkins' attack. Coming down the hill in towards Ravazza, the 399 and the 369 of Fabio Falci skate right on by. Richard Beaton here, mounting an attack, or getting attacked by the 553. Hussein Abbasi here in the 28 finds the daylight through on the 553. Coming through the first one. Now Marcilla again under attack or attacking Falci. Falls back a step on the ladder. Matt Webb has opened up that gap for P1 to around 9/10 of a second, with only 8:40 remaining in the session. Claudio Boccanelli going toe-to-toe with James Horn. Boccanelli follows through, sees the daylight at Acqua Minerale. There's 9 positions tonight. Oh, and a big spin there for the 9 of Claudio Boccanelli. Trying to get a replay of what happened to Boccanelli. Oh, and he was touched by the 93. And that'll be it, unfortunate there. Oh, and there's a spinner. That'll be Abiasi. Spun out at the edge of Ravazza 2. Here's a battle between Boccanelli and Beaton brewing. Oh, a little bit of a touch there from the number 9 as he tries to go defensive from the 998. Oscar Corbett there. The sausage dodger machine gets a crisscross applesauce over under. Executed and lined up, pitched perfectly to get not 1 but 2 overtakes done. But the 90 is here of who is in the number 90 machine flying through the field. That's Pier Paolo Aledo there, chopping it up like he's a NASCAR driver. Oh, and the number 9 of Boccanelli spins out, and we're going to move swiftly on from that to the Leslie Simpkins Jack McCarthy debacle, as they are unsettling who gets the best of the rest now. Leslie Simpkins on that recovery drive right now. The number 90, Pierpel Aledo, not so. Up 3 positions, Jack McCarthy up 11. Abed checking in with Stagnino. Nick Elsner here and Matt Webb battling it out 1.1 seconds back, but Donchi is there at Tosa trying to close down the gap and is doing so menacingly. Back over to the Stagnino battle with Leslie Simpkins. The gap closes down to nearly nothing. Can the 399 get the door closed here before we get down to the next chicane? I don't think so, as they get a little bit argy-bargy. The 399 of Leslie Simpkins has some serious nose damage, and that's not going to help his charge tonight. Leslie Simpkins pirouettes the car. Julian X in the YouTube chat says, this is awesome production with the stream, guys. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Julian. Really appreciate the compliments. hopefully, of course, you remembered to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for when the Sausage Dodgers go live next. And if you're interested in joining us on the racetrack, make sure you check out the YouTube description down below and get yourself inserted onto the racetrack this time next week. Emmanuel Marcillo chases down Clark up ahead. Clark driving that white and purple number 16. White, purple, and black, I should say. The opening door. No, not for the 70 here. Abiasi in the 55. Still battling it out, this time with the 000 of Andrew Kenny, who's made a pit stop tonight and falls out of the lead battle. Triple zero there on the inside line, gets the move done on the 55. Nick Ewers is under attack from the 81, and Mauro Gabbiati being the attacker, and that's all there is to say about that one. Andrea Pizzetti now there, but let's check in with Fabio Fauci and that number 90 of Pier Paolo Aletto. Ben Georgiev, our former race leader, with a slowdown penalty, falls back even further into P5. Intervals up at the top stay relatively tight, still within half a second. A little mistake from the 369 is all it takes for the 16 and the 70 to follow through. Bouncing and banging over the sausages here at Variante Alta. Looks like we'll get this lap plus one more by the end of it. Roman Zidnov, the 482 driver, battling with Aletto here in that number 90. And number 90 looks to the inside line at Aquamanarale, can't find the daylight. Let's look up here for the battle for the podium, because Tessitore challenging Elsner. Coming down through turn one, and don't forget about the 16 in tow. Ben Georgiev could find himself up on the third step of the podium tonight, potentially. And this will be the white flag lap, folks. Last attempts to make anything happen or settle in for best of the rest. Expect some last lap lunges. Expect some last lap defenses here. And there is one, there's two looks from the number 4. There's the third one to the outside line here at Piratella. Tries to get a switchback, an over under anything on the 88, but cannot find the daylight. Through Aquamanarale, it has to be single file line for all the drivers, but a big mistake for the 88 of Elster here at Aquamanarale, forces him to go wide, and the 18 and the 4 are through. Ben Georgiev here mounting an attack at Ravazza. Tries to pull one out, but bump in the rump there to Tessitore in P3. Matt Webb will take the checkered flag for heat number 1 for the Porsche Cup in front of Simone Donchi in P2. Alejandro Tessitore with a stiff battle with Ben Georgiev to the line. Nick Elsner in P5. Mert Menderes in 6. Pedro Arnaud in 7th. Mark Richards with a great result, P8 for him. Jason Brandt in 9th. Francisco Cardullo in 10th. James Horn in 11th. Matthew Clark, Tarek Luati, Pierre Bruckner, in 14th with Vincenzo Stagnito in tow with Jack McCarthy. They're waiting to get that position as well. Battle to the line here with Oscar Corbett with the best view of this battle. Oscar Corbett there in the 998 and 17th. Pier Paolo Aleto in 18th. Emmanuel Marcella, Leslie Simpkins, Richard Baton, Mariano Clark, Andrew Kenny, Fabio Falci, Hussein Abiasi, Mauro Gabbiani, Domino Nugumanov, Thomas P. Hines, Nick Ewers, Simon Darsh, Sam Marshall, Claudio Boccanelli, Bart Tonks, and round out all of the participants here tonight. We'll get the official results posted here in just a few moments' time before we get to the feature race. There are your results posted and prepared for you folks. We have a brief warm-up period before we get started for the next one. Cheers for the HPR Power team in chat for Ben and Pierre. And Julian cheering on the race. Awesome, he says. Thank you very much. It was an awesome race. Something that I love here about the Sausage Dodgers is just the amount of skill and racecraft that is at our disposal. Drivers coming from the back, working their way forward. Drivers staying at the front, coming to the back, working their way through the field yet again. It's been action-packed. It's been non-stop. The drivers have provided us with plenty of entertainment. And don't go anywhere. We have the feature race coming up in just a few minutes' time. So let's understand Imola a little bit better, shall we? We've already come to the agreement that Imola is very tight, technical, and a flowing circuit with a mix of heavy braking zones, quick transitions, and medium speed corners. It rewards precision more than outright power, meaning mistakes cost a lot more here. Heavy braking spots like Variante Tamburello and Variante Alto require firm but balanced braking, require getting the entry right for crucial overtaking opportunities. High-speed flow like Ravazza demands stability under load with smooth throttle application. Been muted this entire time. One of the things I noticed here at Imola driving the Porsche 992, it's definitely that smooth inputs will give you faster laps. Since the Porsche 992.2 likes gradual, smooth, controlled inputs, trail braking is key into most corners here. Properly balanced braking release and turn-in gets the car to rotate nice and early. So what does that mean is that you're really trail braking into a lot of these corners and carrying a lot of speed, but keeping about 10 to 12% brake pressure applied on the pedal when you get to the apex to keep the nose punched in, and then letting off kind of dramatically from that point to 0% at throttle application to get the car to rotate properly. This car is very nose centric, so you can manipulate the feeling of the front wheels with the way you pitched the car into some of these corners. Taking a look at our grid, it'll be Vincenzo Stagnito taking us down in towards P1, Pierre Buckner in P2. Tarek Luati, Matthew Clark, James Horn, Francisco Cardillo, Jason Brandt, Mark Richards, Pedro Arnaud, Mert Menderes, Nick Elsner, Ben Georgiev. Alejandro Tessitore, Simone Donchi, Matt Webb, Jack McCarthy, Oscar Corbett, Pierpo Aledo, Emmanuel Marcilla, Leslie Simpkins, Richard Beaton, Marino Clark, Andrew Kenny, Fabio Falci, Hossein Abbasi, Mauro Gabbiati, Nugamov, Zidnov, Hines, Ewers, Pizzetti, Darsh, Marshall, Buccanelli, and Tonks. I think we're ready to take the green flag. And it's green, green, green for Stagnito. And he falls back really far on this race start. He's going to get swallowed alive by the field around him. And hopefully he doesn't fall back too far, get caught up in an incident or anything because of his unpredictability. Looking green and clean for the second start. Is it so for the drivers up ahead? It looked like Matt Webb was trying to go for a move, or was that Pedro Arnaud that was Stagnito and Matt Webb going wheel to wheel? Ben Georgiev is here trying to make and bake things happen. The 18th bumping out the number 4 a little bit there, and that'll be Tessitore. Now the 18 charges forward, this time on 21 of Stagnito, who's already got a knife wound in his back already, down 13 positions. Here comes the 420 of Richards battling with the 188 through the high chicane. Cautious but careful over the curbs to not run each other wide, and it's the 420 in front of Matt Webb and Pedro Arnaud. Mert Menderes with a big defense, but the 88 with a big dive. Nick Elsner there at Ravazza 1. Ben Georgiev in the 188 exchange a little paint on the door coming through the final corner. Turn 19. Now through turn 1, they're gonna have to get dicey and decisive about who falls where now. Tarek Luwadi spins out. Let's get a replay of what happened to Tarek. We've got too many battles on track to get a look at what happened to Tarek. I apologize to you, Tarek. The 188 battles with 18, and he goes bouncing over the curbs, and Pedro Arnaud gets eaten alive by the sausages. Matt Webb and Mark Richards battling it out here, coming through Piratello. The 420 lines this one up. The 333 of Matt Webb has some significant rear end damage right now versus Mark Richards' clean looking car. I think he can fare a little bit further than his opponent in the long run. Now looking at the 369, it's Vincenzo Stagnito on his recovery drive from that horrific race start. Mert Mendera is losing a position, this time to Simone Donchi. And Bruckner takes his slowdown penalty coming down the main straightaway, and that'll really give up 2 positions just easily there to Elsner and Horn. Now the 6-1 of Donchi is here as well, carrying Mert Menderes on his back. And trying to find a way through to the entrance at Tosa. Going to the grass isn't the ideal line, but Simone Donchi does make that one work. Bumps out the 25, now defends hard from the 691 back. Finds the line here at Piratello to be the inside line, carrying speed to the outside, curbing very well. Mert Mendera is here with Bruckner and Matt Webb chasing down in the backfield. The 333 here working his way through the field, chopping it up left, right, and center. Brandt has a good run coming down in towards Ravazza. Can he make the corner though? The 93 slams the door shut. Says, no sir, not in my house. And that conversation was swiftly ended. Battle for the lead here includes Matthew Clark and Francisco Cardullo. We have Gabbiati up ahead, who's lap traffic. And will he get in the way? We all know the saying, lap traffic giveth, lap traffic taketh away. No, Matt Clark, in the lead of the race, not down a lap. That's Gabbiati who's down a lap. This is the battle for the lead. The 88 trying to find the outside line on the 50 here at Tosa, switches back. The 50 occupies the inside line. 50 driving to the middle of the road, forcing the 88 to the inside line here at the Pirates corner. Now the 88 attacks, goes to the inside line, carries the speed, and the Swiss driver is there and through. Francisco Cardullo now chasing in the wings, sees how the overtake can be done, and now he has to execute it. Jack McCarthy looking for an entry here. gets alongside the number 9 of Claudio Buccanelli and gets it done there at Paratella on the driver with no hood. Burt Menderes here, P2 in the championship, leads over Jason Brandt, Matt Webb, and Ben Georgiev in this ideal little train that they have going. And I say it's ideal because it's seemingly all working together right now. Until the defensive move gets executed by the 333 of Matt Webb, because Ben Georgiev is getting a little impatient there. Little bit of an off for Jason Brandt. Comes back on track, resumes in P11. Mark Richards now under attack from the number 4 of Alejandro Tessitore here at Tosa. And the bobbing and weaving from the drivers ahead as well. I think frustrations are starting to boil over. Pedro Arnaud here in a battle. This is exchanged with Vincenzo Stagnito coming through the high chicane. Stagnito doing a good job. Try to carry the speed and momentum where you can over those enormous sausages. Fast laps trickling in from the drivers. Personal bests being set right now. Ben Georgiev backs out of his battle with Matt Webb by a small margin, but I think a necessary one. Simone Donci goes through on a horn at Villeneuve. Unbelievable send. Look at Hussein Abbasi. This is Claudio Buccanelli's defense right now. And they're going to go completely door to door, this time successfully. 28 finds paint on the number 9. Let me know who your favorite drivers are. Let me know who you're cheering for. Numbers or names gets them more screen time, folks. 30 minutes left to go on the clock. Plenty of time for us to catch up with more drivers. Julian says Sector 1 is an HPR sandwich at the moment. Check back in with this battle. All the way back to second. We got Matt Webb and Nick Elsner fans here. Oh, a horn. Not using or not needing the chrome horn to get the move done. Here's the battle. Matt Webb involved in this tussle, driving that 333. Driver from Wales right now, boxed in currently behind the 93 of James Horn. Looking for the daylight around the outside here at Paratella. Looking for a switchback now as the 18 gets squirrely, but maintains this ground beneath them somehow, some way. but again continues to box out the 333 and prevent him from charging forward. Now the uphill run is going to leave him compromised to the likes of Alejandro Tessitore, who's now battling for the same position. At one point, these boys were battling for P2. Now they're battling for P8 and best of the rest. Horn leads Georgiev and Matt Webb currently, but we got to keep an eye up here because Cardullo and Donchi are going to go after it. Donchi was said to have a good race by Machine Gun Baguette. It's going to get a little bit better as Donchi is now up into P3 on the evening. Pierre Bruckner and Oscar Corbett uphill into Tosa. Is it too deep for the 998? It's not too deep as he continues to drive down into Aqua Minerale over to the leaders. It's Donchi through on Matthew Clark. Now the Jaws music is playing. The time is ticking to Elsner, 4.3 seconds, the gap there, and it continues to tick over. Matthew Clark with another big mistake, loses out another position, this time to Ben Georgiev. Machine Gun Baguette says, if I can say as a fellow Italian, Donchi is pronounced donkey. Strange, but true. Is it true, Machine Gun Baguette? I will say it. So, donkey. Is that correct? You let me know in the YouTube chat. $75 looking menacing on the 691 now. It's one of our top contenders in the championship, Mert Menderes, who's driving in P3. Doing a good job to control the field. Machine Gun Baguette says it's true. Chi is pronounced key in Italian. Perfect. Thank you so much for the pronunciation guide. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Nick Ewers here in a big battle with Claudio Buccanelli, and didn't go well for Ewers there. Oscar Corbett, Pierre Bruckner, number 25, down, unfortunately, 14 positions tonight. Started a lot further forward than this. Ben Georgiev now going for the look on Francisco Cardullo. Driving the number 75, Cardullo is behind, just a nose. Webb takes the first call to pit lane with 24 minutes remaining. And now it will be Georgiev through into P4. With Webb taking that pit stop, how long is it going to take for him to refuel and get back out onto the racetrack? Francisco Cardullo makes a mistake. That'll be Matthew Clark snaking his way by, with no further hemorrhaging of the wound there. Francisco Cardullo is going to strategically take this slowdown penalty, I can imagine. And here comes the likes of Mark Richards chasing down James Horn and Alejandro Tessitore out in front. Bruckner gets a slowdown. Clark gets one as well. Surprise, surprise for Clark. This is going to bring in Cardullo, Tessitore, and Horn into the mix, as the drivers all fan out coming through turn number 1. Defending hard, Matthew Clark trying to keep back the likes of Francisco Cardullo in the 75. Tessitore in tow in the number 4. James Horn there in the number 93 white and red machine in the background. The Italian colored car belonging to the Italian man there in 3rd. But now that'll be Francisco Cardullo, who spun out, bouncing over the curbs. And the Passione Corsa team is down and out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. Thank you very much for your guys' patronage here. You guys are absolutely amazing for joining up with the Sausage Dodgers. Big shout out and thanks to Simon Darsh, who upgraded his Patreon subscription from tier 2 up to tier 1, baby. Thank you very much to Mickey Phipps, Andrew Kesterton in the tier 2 category, Jack Jacketson in the tier 3. On the meat wall, we have Andrew Kesterton, Simon Hutchings, and Paul Cook. Over here, battle between Tessitore and Matthew Clark rages on through corner number 1, leading down and towards Tamburello. It's edge to edge, it's wheel to wheel. The 50 loses out ground to Tessitore and he backs out. And the 93 nearly runs him over. Webb in a battle in the background with Roman Zudnov. Gets through on the first attempt. Back up to Tessitore, Clark, Horn debacle. And now all this battling has really brought out the best of Mark Richards. Last lap around 142.9 compared to the 43s. The drivers are ahead or putting down, so Mark Richards is staying focused and fierce, and it's just coming to him as Horn makes a mistake going through the high chicane, cutting it, and now Mark Richards should get the overdrive and momentum as Horn takes the slowdown penalty coming into Ravazza. Nick Elsner lights a fuse, grabs a 141.5 that last time around. A new fast lap of the race. Donkey tries to do the same with a 141.64. Just not good enough, though. Oh, no! An incident for Donkey and the 55. We're going to have to get an incident review of what happened here. We're gonna rewind. Oh, and a little bit of just two does not go into one. And that might be the end of Donkey's race, unfortunately. Leaving the battle for the lead in the hands of Nick Elsner, Mert Menderes, and Ben Georgiev. Immediate pit stop calls for Elsner, Menderes, Georgiev, Tessitore. We'll get a good look at pit lane here. Leslie Simpkins, the only driver pretty much in the top 13 to stay out. Jack McCarthy as well. And there's your drivers that have stopped and the drivers that have not stopped up until this point. Now battles are brewing all over again after the pit stop cycle has kicked off, folks. The cheers in chat for Arnaud. He's down 4, but he's not down and out. The 188 Porsche is running in P13 and has only a few cars in front of him. Plenty of room to make big gains on the evening. Only that one extra lap, it looks like, for Leslie Simpkins. Matt Webb, who pit early on in the race on lap 9, about 4 laps earlier than everybody else, fared pretty well. He made his way back up into P4. Pedro Arnaud sits back and watches the battle unfold in front. The 83 and the 11 go wheel to wheel, but I think the 188 says patience is a virtue, my friend, and gets the 2-for-1 special up into P11 for Pedro Arnaud, the patient driver. Up ahead of this battle is the battle between Vincenzo Stagnito and Andrea Pizzetti. Stagnito there on that recovery drive still. Down 14 positions tonight. Andrea Pizzetti up 15. Would love to make that a lovely round 16. I could only imagine. During the pit stop cycle, it was almost a full second and a half faster for Mert Menderes that last time around. Another 0.4 of a second chopped out of the lead gap. Let's take a look here at who's involved. It's Nick Elsner leading us by 5 seconds. Ben Georgiev in tow behind Mert Menderes here. The battle with the number 18. We have the likes of Nick Ewers and the 369 up ahead, causing a little bit of chaos and calamity for them. Ewers stays on the racing line and predictably out of the way. And the 18 and the 691 are through safely. Fabio Falchi and Nick Ewers also in a battle, but we'll stay here with this one because it looks like a run going down into the high chicane might be the opportunity needed for the number 18, and he's through on the 691. $12 to go. Georgiev, if he wants the win, needs to basically be 2 seconds a lap faster than Nick Elsner. At this point forward, he'd have to start producing basically 139s. Claudio Buccanelli in the background has the likes of Hussein Abbasi ahead. Stagnito chases down Pizzetti. And Francisco Cardullo here for 15, 16, and 17. And there goes Pierre Bruckner around. The German driver crashed. See if we can get an incident of what happened here to Bruckner. And just a little kiss of the curb sends him around. Almost a identical situation to what happened to the leaders. '83 has a big mistake, and that's all it'll take for Stagnito and Cardullo to walk through before the high chicane. Told you this race was going to be all about mistakes, and it surely has delivered to be just that. Gap is coming down to Elsner up ahead from Ben Georgiev, but I don't think it's quite enough. Cardullo again, still glued to the rear end of Stagnito here. What on the battle between Horn, Clark, and Leslie Simpkins. Leto and Cho in the backfield here. Runs going down into Ravazza. Everybody being extremely patient right now and managing the tires to the best of their ability, waiting to get on the loud pedal till we're pointed in a straight line. Here's the view from Leslie Simpkins' car. Onto the gyro cam now. A little bit of grass kicked up from the 50 up ahead. And run down to Tosa. Very patient Ben Georgiev. What has happened to our leaders? It looks like Georgiev has crashed. Let's see what happened here. In Aquaminarale, everything's okay until there's a car parked in the middle of the racetrack and nothing you can do about that. And Georgiev has to come down pit lane. He has got a black flag pull. Brutal. What was looking like a great result for Ben Georgiev here for round 2. A great start to the championship. Now just evaporating through his hands. Leslie Simpkins having a much better heat 2 than heat number 1 tonight. Up 11 positions on the good, and has the likes of Matthew Clark, a very good contender, out on the field tonight, who's down 4, now battling for top 10. Looks like Corbett there, or Cardulo, excuse me, getting a slow down. And just great pack battle racing here with the Sausage Daughters. The drivers keeping it within spitting distance of each other, but without all of the contact and the ugly stuff that takes place with that margin that you try to battle with. Cardulo again defends hard from Stagnito. Just under 5 minutes remaining here on the clock, folks. Make sure you let your driver know to come down for an interview post-race. Nick Elsner, Mert Menderes, Matt Webb, the 1, 2, 3. Always come down for an interview post-race. I'd really appreciate to talk to them and get into their heads a little bit. Of course, that is if they conclude the race in that running order. Don't want to jinx it. 4:20 left on the clock. Nice. As the 369 of Fabio Falci yields the position to the cars on the lead lap, allowing them to continue their battle. pretty calm, cool, and collected for the final 3 minutes of this race, but I expect things to boil over here shortly. Battles continuing to almost boil over as Leslie Simpkins has a look on Matthew Clark. Now leaves him vulnerable to Pierpo Oleto in the number 90. Posturing for move into Tosa, opens the door for himself, barges right in, sits down for a glass of milk, helps himself to your wife while he's at it. The 390 can do nothing but sit there and watch. Leto goes a little too deep there and aggressive with his move into Aqua Minerale, and that gives the position right back over to Leslie Simpkins. Pedro Arno! Definitely gonna have to get a replay of this and what happened here. The 188 and the 90 just ran out of talent. Oh man. White flag lap for Nick Elsner, currently driving the number 88. The sector racing driver. Sector 1, excuse me. Taking the win here tonight at Imola, the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo E. Dino Ferrari, aka Imola, of course. The track length of 3 miles that was founded in 1953, unchanged since 1994. We are located in Bologna, Italy. It was 19 corners, 8 to the right, 11 to the left, and 111 feet of elevation change that the 88 had to muster. They did it time and time again. They did it when it was challenging. They did it when it was easy. But they did it when no one was watching was the most important thing. And they led on the final lap when it mattered most. Nick Elsner takes the win here tonight for the Sausage Dodgers in the feature race. Mert Menderes will claim P2. Matt Webb with a great P3 finish. Alejandro Tessatore in P4. Mark Richards with a great run in P5 and I think a P8 finish in heat number 1. James Horn in P6. Ben Georgiev in 7th. Matthew Clark, Pierpo Oleto, Leslie Simpkins rounding us out. Waiting for the official results to come in before we get started with our interviews, folks. Official results coming in as the last few cross the line, folks, and the session gets concluded. We'll get the drivers ready for their interviews in just a few moments. Let's get those results posted. It was Nick Elsner taking the win, down to Mert Menderes, Matt Webb, Alejandro Tessitore, Mark Richards, James Horn, Ben Georgiev, Matthew Clark, Piero Pololetto, Leslie Simpkins, Jason Brandt, Oscar Corbett, Francisco Cardillo, Vincenzo Stagnito, Pedro Arnaud, Pierre Brockner, Tarek Luati, and Emmanuel Marcelo rounding out the first 18. And then down to 19th, Roman Zadnov, Jack McCarthy, Hussein Abbasi, Richard Beaton, Simon Darch, Andrea Pizzetti, Claudio Buccanelli, Marino Klorik, Dmitro Nugamov, Mario Gabbiati. Rounding out the rest, Nick Ewers, Hines, Marshall, Falchi, Donkey, Tonks, and Kenny. Machine Gun Baguette says, thanks for the stream. This race has been a roller coaster, really fun. Absolutely true, my friend. Hopefully the drivers are happy with some of the results, and we have the pleasure of talking to Nick Elsner, who's in the booth with us now. Nick, what a great run you had for the second heat, the feature race.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was not expecting to win this race, to be honest. The pace of the others was pretty good.
The pace of the others was really good. The pace of the others was fierce. Now, how did you manage to gain 10 positions in the feature race to get to where you were to lead the race first and foremost?
Yeah, I think I had a pretty good start, pushed through the field. So the others were stuck in traffic and I could push away, get a good lead and feel confident to, bring it home.
That's awesome. Pushing through the field is really difficult at a track such as Acqua Minerale, or excuse me, as a track such as Imola with corners like Acqua Minerale. Where do you find it best to make overtakes happen?
Yeah, I mean, on the straight, it's easy if you have good draft, but to be honest, it's hard. You just have to take it when you have the space. So it's everywhere possible, but hard.
Yes,
everywhere.
sir. That's very true. Nick Elsner, is there anybody you'd like to shout out? Anybody you'd like to thank? Would you like to talk about your team for a moment?
Yeah, just I want to thank Matt because he's a good coach for me. He's pushing me all the race. We were in the team speak and pushing together hard. So it's fun. It was a very good race.
Very good race. Now, you're part of a team, right? Sector 1?
Yes, exactly.
And is that including Matt Webb then?
Yes.
Aha.
He brought me in here.
So a little bit of teamwork working out for this race.
Exactly.
A little bit of strategy, I see. Okay, Nick, I see you, brother. Well, shout out to Sector 1, the esports team, and shout out to you, Nick Elsner. Thank you very much for showing up and putting on a great show for us tonight. Really appreciate you, sir.
Thank you very much. See you next week.
Hopefully we'll see you next week. You don't know.
Of course. Have a good one.
Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Great to wrap up there with Nick Elsner, the race winner, and he'll probably be sitting pretty in the championship points as well. We'll take a look at that next week, same time, same place, here with the Sausage Dodgers Racing Organization. Don't forget about our TCR series starting up this Thursday. I believe signups and registrations are already full, but I believe there is a waiting list. If you'd like to go ahead and check that out, please go ahead and do so. Now, I got to give a big shout out and thanks to everybody here at the Sausage Dodgers Organization. Whether you're on the Patreon wall or not, you're still a Sausage Dodger, giving love and support to the stream, the organization, the community. whether you're an admin or not. Thank you so much to all your love and support. And I have another interview now. Excuse me, I was going to close out the stream, but we have Mert Menderes here. Now, Mert.
Hi.
Talk to us about your race, brother, because you were driving the wheels off of that 691 tonight.
Oh, thank you. Well, actually, I had not a shocking race in the sprint, but it was just not that great. I was able to just hold P6. I was too sloppy in the first few laps, got too many slowdowns, lost toe, and then I just lost the main train. That was it for the race. I tried to get away from the train behind, which also worked. Nothing special, but the second race was was more entertaining, I guess, for you. That was just a battle of survival. I got like I had 2 cents against, or like 2 people sent it up on me, lap 2 and 3, which I might gonna report because that was just, in my opinion, a bit too dirty. Yeah, then tried to keep it clean again, and then after the pit stops went well with me and Ben, but then we've had, well, the unfortunate encounter of 2 lapped traffic pairs. The first one, we both got contact with the lapped cars before Tosa, I think, which was not nice already, because you're already fighting for 2 and 3, and then you see 2 lapped cars also fighting. Not nice, but we both kept it, I guess. And then a few laps later, once Ben overtook me, there was another incident at Aqua Minerali, just a spun car. We both took avoiding action, but I went more to the left, and he didn't. And I saw him going into the pit, so I guess he hit him. So that was also, for me, a very lucky encounter. But yeah, quite a tough race for me. I'm still amazed that I ended up in P2.
Yeah, I mean, myself included, like you said, it was pretty exciting for you this heat. So climbing up and down the ladder isn't something that you had done or showed us that you had done in the sprint race. So expecting you to do that in the feature race wasn't something that I expected, but you showed out and you really kept your head down with some really good fast laps when you had clean air. And then when you're able to catch up to people, I feel like you were methodical with waiting for those mistakes to come up before you were ready to attack. So good looking maneuvers there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Now, Mert, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Well, again, just like last week, Coop Motorsports, the entire crew, for helping me out throughout the years. And still there.
Right on. Thank you so much, Mert, for your love and support. Oh, there's an incident down in the Aqua Minerale that we were just talking about that gave you P2 with Ben colliding into it. Oh, man. So unfortunate for Ben. But thank you, Mert, for joining us in the broadcast booth here with the Sausage Dodgers Racing Team. And we'll see you next week, hopefully.
All right. Thanks for commentating.
No problem. I love this.
Bye-bye.
Bye. With that, we are going to close things out, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Do not forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. It really does help out the analytics and help us grow this wonderful community that we have here with the Sausage Dodgers. And just come hang out in the Discord and come chat with us. We're not aliens, we're not mean people. Some of us are. Stay away from Mark Richards. He's a bit smelly sometimes, and Nick Ewers is a bit hairy, but we don't make fun of him for it. It's okay. We still love our Sasquatch. But anyways, for now, thank you for joining. Thank you for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to be your host. Been Sagar Bakshi, aka The Real High, taking you from green to checkered flag, as always, here with the Sausage Dodgers. And I'll see you on Thursday for TCRs. Same time, same place. Have a wonderful night. And as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Goodbye for now.